I think the vision when he first started was really just to make a living for his family and create, and he said his vision has always been to create jobs in the community, good paying jobs that is a good place to work, fun place to work, so that people can work and have a good job. So my father, Wyatt, he's the one who started the company in 1990. He actually got the idea of paving stones when he was dating my mom. He went back to Ohio, that's where she was from, and her father, my grandfather, owned a landscaping company, and he saw them putting in paving stones. And so even clear back then, when he was 17, 18 years old, he got this idea started in his head. And then fast forward about 5-6 years, they're married with 4 kids, and he decides that now's the time to, he's tried farming, he's tried construction, excavation, and he now decides, hey, I'm gonna do this paver thing. I was 1 year old at the time. I was 1989 when he started excavating for the first plant. He bought the land, went and got a good relationship with the bank and found a banker that believed in him, loaned the money, and started excavation and building the first building. So when we're building the first building 1, here's this little guy crawling right there in the corner, that's me. And then I think my sister, there's my mom right there, and my 2 older sisters are standing over here, I think. So that's a pretty cool picture. But yeah, that's nice and close to all the construction. We had a 60 by 120 foot steel constructed building with an office in one corner. It was pretty basic. And then he bought a used machine out of back east somewhere, I think out of Georgia. It was a used egg layer machine, and pretty much did all the construction, everything himself, just like we've always done. Really the first memories I have of working here was in that first building, we call it building 1, now it's just a warehouse building. My dad was the only one who knew how to kind of fix anything, so if anything broke down, he'd have to be over here late at night trying to get it back running. And so I remember probably when I was 4 or 5 years old coming over here, we'd bring our sleeping bags, and we'd hang out in the office, we'd color rocks with highlighters. I would copy our hands, our faces, do that kind of little stuff that little kids do. And then we'd put our sleeping bags upstairs on the floor in the office and go to sleep here as my dad was working late into the night. It was probably 13, 14 years old. Me and my brother started making pallets for shipping the product on. So we started making them here at the plant in a little corner, and then we moved it back to my parents' shop. And we actually had a little business called Pegg Brothers Pallets, and we produced the pallets for about 4 years. That's all we did. After school, I was homeschooled, and so after school, me and my brother, we'd go out back in the shop and we'd make pallets, and Western Interlock would buy them from us. This is when we were putting up the building 2, which was the Zenith Machine, which is we're putting in the color system. This is me and my dad both working on setting up the color system. So yeah, it would have been 2000, so I would have been 12 years old there, 13. So I was pretty tall for a 13-year-old, almost as tall as my dad. Yeah, so I started working in the production. I was producing product, sorting the product, wrapping pallets, and then I moved from that into working in the yard, loading forklifts. I did mechanic work in the shop from 2010 till I was really the manager of the shop, and also did all the mechanic work, all the maintenance work. Like I said, I'm kind of a hands-on person, so I enjoy that kind of work, and I'm mechanically minded, so it comes easy to me. I remember us having to delve into the dime jar to buy groceries. I remember us not being able to buy groceries and my grandparents having to buy them for us. So yeah, As a child, you don't fully understand all that, but I do remember that. I remember having the dime jar and taking it to town and actually paying with dimes out of the dime jar. It seems like when you're successful and when there's not many problems, everything's going smoothly, you tend to forget that we're in it for each other and we're a family. So I think it helped really reinforce that we are a family and that we have to rely on each other and trust each other to get through the hard times. But me and my father both, we are actively involved. Like yesterday I was sitting in the front sales office at the front desk talking to people as they came in, and my dad's the same way. He loves to be directly involved with people. That's really how we do it, is just show it by example, by showing people. Really, day to day, I'm really with the sales guys a lot in the front office. And I'm still managing also over the shop, also over the trucking. So my dad calls it MWWA, manage while wandering around. So I'm in the office about half the day, and then I kind of wander around the different departments and make sure everything's running well and smoothly. And then I try to solve any problems that people can't solve. So that's really what day-to-day looks like. I literally built it from the ground up. It's not just saying that, it actually did. So it's fun. It's fun to sit here today and see everything and see where we come from, and to see that it takes a lot of hard work, and it's been 30 years, but we've come a long way, and I think a big part of that is just that we've stuck it out, and by the grace of God, He's looked out for us for 30 years.